So when I say come out and participate,
they knew that there was a
Republican.
perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And they were dealing with people that just 10 years prior, had dominion over them.
Yeah.
And so now, to act like all of a sudden everybody was just, sunshine and rainbows, that wasn't what was happening.
Not at all.
Yet they engaged in the process, got to the table, and began to make things happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, you and I differ on this.
Began to build community.
But you and I differ on this. Tiffany believes there should be equal participation on both the Republican and the Democratic side, right?
Yes, I do.
Hold on. Let me finish, right?
I know where you're
I am of the opinion, in order to get, I was going to go with an uncle saying, but I'm not, because it's got a lot of it's got a lot of cursing.
I already know where you're going,
and I can't bring it up. But I used to have a friend who used to say, sometime to show an individual that you're serious.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but I'm screening it. Editing it. To show an individual that you're serious, right? You have to do a big major event, right? So it's only
sometimes you have to show somebody better than you can tell them.
Exactly.
Talking about something doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You have to show.
You have to show them. You have to show them with action. And so you do a big swing. Instead of 80% of black people voting Democrat, 80% of black people should vote Republican. 80% of black people should participate in the Republican Party. And what do I mean by participate? I mean, get involved at the local level. Participate in the educational process when stupid ideas come up, right?
You can put them down.
You can put them down, or raise enough hell to bring attention to it, right?
Raise enough heaven. I always say that.
Heaven, I prefer hell, right? Negatives. All right. So we have that. Like, for instance,
more
right?
Than heaven. Go ahead. Go on ahead.
So that's what I mean when I say participate Republican. And then, so did you know black people in 2016, right? They flipped what? 3 states that they were part of flipping? Wisconsin.
Yep.
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and I think Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. Flipping that, right? So what do you think politically with the Democrats? What do you think politically the Republican Party would politically offer black people if we help them flip those states back in the swing states?
Well, then all of a sudden you're talking about real power and a voice there.
Real power and a voice. But do you know?
But I see. Let me say what you. If everybody just comes over here, then you're in the same boat.
No, you're not.
You're in the same boat, and this is my opinion. I get to have my opinion, just like you get to have your little whack opinion.
My opinion's not whack, but okay, continue.
You have to have that representation, strong representation in both sides, in both parties. Yep. Because if everybody exits the other party, then they'll do the same thing that this party has done.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let me tell you my...
Because I think that the nose thumbing and, hey, just be quiet and sit in the corner and let us do what we want to do. We're going to do what we're going to do would continue.
See... So now what I'm asking for is a little bit different.
Sit down, pets.
So what I'm asking for is a little bit different than voting Republican, right? Mm-hmm. Republican Party is in a bit of a pinch, right? Right now we have the crazies that are coming into the party. And so if you're a normal person, right, you're not looking for perfect. You're going, okay, these guys are crazy, but let's go look at what they're offering versus what the other people are offering, right? And if you get enough black people to consistently participate and involve themselves and vote, which is what I'm saying, participate and vote, most people don't show up. You just have to have marginally more people show up than the other people.
Well, and my goal for black people in the Republican Party is not just to vote Republican or vote whoever. Yeah. My goal is for people to come into the primaries, make selections based on what the needs are and desires are within our community that are going to be beneficial to the businesses, to the schools,
policing.
Yes, to all of the social determinants of health that are affecting us. Those things for us to make decisions that at at the primary level, because when you do it there, then it affects everything else. If you're not choosing those candidates in the primaries and a bunch of crazy people get pushed through, well, it's on us then if we let all the crazies come in. Yeah. Because you actually can come into the primaries and stop that mess cold. Yeah.
And I think you can't go, and I know you can't have that attitude of them people ain't going to let us come into the party.
You can't be, you have to be willing to stand for what you believe in. Yeah. Doesn't mean that you have to tap dance, and you definitely can't be the person that tap dances in coons, but you have to be willing to stand for what you believe in. There's going to be people that are going to tell you, no, we don't. That's not what this party is about. It is now.
And a lot of those people are going to be black.
Yeah, some of them might be. Some of them might be. Yeah. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what somebody else has to say. What matters is, what do you have to say? Yeah. What do you have to say? Because your vote and your voice matter. We want to say that our vote and our voices matter, our lives matter, then make your vote matter.
Yeah. And so this is why you should become a Republican, a B1 Republican, participate, and not just vote, but participate as a black first Republican in the party. And, Tiff and I disagree on the percentages, right? But there needs to be representation in the opposing party, right? Because, if you're in Texas, you should definitely vote in the, you should vote in the Republican primary, right? If you're in Texas, you need, as a black person, you need to be a B1 Republican in the state of Texas, because they are the seat of power.
We should be putting people forward for those primaries. Okay. We want this person in this area because they are supporting this platform of things that we have determined to be important for our constituents. Yeah. That's, that is the political process in a nutshell. I mean, definitely boiled down in a simplistic way, but that is what it takes in order for us to make the change that we want to make. No amount of marching, letter writing, and arguing will change our society. That's not going to change it. What changes society is that vote in the primary and voting in the constituents that are going to serve us and serve our needs and desires for our communities.
And that is more specific than simply saying white supremacy. White supremacy is too broad, too nebulous. I mean, no one can grip that. I can't grab a hold of that. But I can figure out policies on how I want the police to treat the citizens, be they black, green, blue, whatever. I can identify if reparations is your issue. You can put that in words, and you can advocate for that. Education, right? When silliness is put in, and they're trying to put silliness in the school books about slavery and history, right? You can advocate against that. You can also advocate in the telling of the narrative of those events, right? Black people weren't simply victims, right? So a friend of ours asked me, why do you say American descendants of slaves? Because their view of slaves is something like it is a dishonor. It's something to run away from. I use that term American descendants of slaves as a proud moment. Proud moment, one, for our country, two, for myself. To just think, 3 generations ago, right? People, for me, 3 generations ago in one of the branches, they were slaves. They were slaves and could not even imagine in 1840.
The life that we have
in
now.
The 1800s, the life that we're able to live now. I think that's a testament of the American system. The evolution of the American system. Thank you for correcting me. The evolution of the American system, right? That those principles, even though they didn't mean them for everybody, they just meant them for white men, but those principles hold. And when applied to everyone, we see everyone grow. So that's why I say the American descendants of slaves. It's not something for me to hold my head down in shame, but for me to hold my head high, that I stand on the shoulders of giants who paid a price before me. That's why I use the term. And that's why I believe that we can go through and get into the Republican Party and not go, them people ain't going to let us.
And that's why I get tired of you saying them people.
That's the attitude. I say that.
Idea.
Yeah, I say that to spur people on, because when people hear me say it like that, their ideas are like, well, wait a minute. He just said it like that, right?
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Yeah. But, you know, my joy in where we are today as Americans is that we have the right. We actually can go and exercise the right to vote.
Mm-hmm. And not just vote, but participate.
We can actually go and exercise the right to put people forward within this party and the other party and have our agendas heard, seen, and acted upon. So for anyone to say, don't vote, that's not even, I don't want to hear that. I think it's un-American to tell somebody not to vote.
I think it's anti-black to not to vote.
Oh, yeah. I think it's anti-whatever you are. If they're telling you you're black, it's anti-black. If they're telling you that you're a woman, it's anti-woman. If they're telling you that you're Hispanic, it's anti-Hispanic. It's anti-you.
Yeah, because
they're trying to take you out.
Yeah, but you have to participate in the process if we expect change, right? And you've been listening to 9:30 a.m. with On the Record with Tiffany and
Kevin.
Thank you so much.